There we are. Welcome to today's live stream. So, as you could tell, there we go. As you could tell by the description of the stream, we're going to be looking at some older Blender files, 3D projects that I've done in the past. Nothing that I've done professionally, or maybe if we make it to that, but I have enough that I've just kind of done like through tutorials and just seeing things that I need a little bit more 3D graphic, 3D layouts, like featuring very specific items in my portfolio. So I'm just gonna go through some old projects and see like what can I do to kind of elevate this a little bit more and get a cool output. So with that, we're already looking at a template file that I have set up here that's gonna render an object from multiple cameras. So it's just a light template file I can have open if I just want to kind of drop something here and start creating a little product shot. So with that, we could start with furniture pieces. So for seating, let's see, I have this one file. Actually, this is not at all in my portfolio. So these are actually, there's a few pieces like this one that were made using AI. So I kind of used Midjourney or another image generator in order to kind of then bring that image into here and trace it into something that is actually functional. Because you might have heard me if you've been following this process with me before. I kind of call it like rationalizing, like when you're looking at this AI image and basically using it as a scaffold to trace over, sketch over. What you're doing there is sort of just really making sense out of what the image was stitching together, because sometimes you'll notice when you go into detail like that, a lot of joints or a lot of other things aren't really resolved. So we'll take a look at that with some of these. I think for the most part, this one I remember spending some time texturing and it actually looks pretty great. Something I should make sure I do here in my scene is to always have the camera view through here. This is a stereoscopy, the reason why you see it there in blue and red, but I can explain that a little bit later. But we'll always keep a rendered view here of what we're working on. So I think definitely this could make it into it. What I want to do is actually put many furniture pieces into that render file, and then I'll structure it where I can switch them out, I can render them together, I can then use them as a collection. It'll be a cool little template of furniture pieces. So okay, so this chair is actually already an asset. So I'm gonna make sure if I go over here and I go into my asset browser, there we go. I should have it under furniture and chair. No. Over furniture overall. Did I not assign it? Unassigned. Oh, I think it might be saved in a folder where I don't necessarily have it linked into here. So that's all right. I'll actually do a save as into my resources folder. That's a better way of doing it anyhow. This is sort of like my creative folder. So I think this piece is ready to transition into my just standard resources. So I like to do that, sort of just keep like general resources for just software, 3D, everything just completely separate. So here's my Blender model library. This is where all my assets live. And then I have them categorized within Blender. So chair, modern curved pipe, totally fine. Put that in there. And now that I did a save as, I can eliminate the cameras. In here, I just want the chair. And we'll save. Okay. So we look at our main scene. Now we go under furniture, chair. Might have to reload the asset browser. Well, it should be unassigned now, actually. If I do a search on all chair, there's a lot of stuff. I think I might have to reset this instance of Blender. Or is there a way without restarting? If I go into preferences, file paths. Yeah, no, let's just restart. We won't save. We'll just bring back our render file. Okay. So I'll just do that once. Usually you mark assets here, so you right click and you would do mark asset or clear asset. So I had already done that, and by clearing up this file and saving it in where my resources folder is, Blender will automatically now pick it up. And we'll have it under all, so we can do a search for it. Chair. There it is. So this has been happening. It might be because I have two file paths going to the same place, such as the model library and materials perhaps, or user library, that I'm getting like duplicates, but that's all right for now. But then we have the chair here, and we can just drag it now into our scene. I'm gonna have to do some resizing and double check all my units actually later on. Cool. So that's one that we brought in here. We can do a little product shot with this chair. Let's start bringing in other files. Now that I have this folder open, we can take a look at other ones. So chair tropical. Let's see this one. This is one that I made off of a sketch. I don't want to include it with this one unless I made these round. You know, why not? Let's try that. So I can do Shift A, mesh cylinder, just to preview that. And go into side view. And just make sure we position this into place. Let's go over to layout. There we go. Work with a bit more room. And do we have a camera to look through? No. We'll just keep a view here on the overall shape. So move this over. Let's have it fit more or less the same proportions. Tab into it, select that face, move it up. And this is where things can get a little bit tricky as far as like what's the best way to proceed. I do remember there's like this plugin or this way to follow a curve, but for now I can just extrude this face up, and I can use the shear tool over here. Sure, there's a better way to do this, but just gotta find the right handle here. Not that one. There we go. And we want to shear that. Is it 0.5 or 1? I think it's 1. Yeah. So by just shearing that, we basically have the angle that we need to go off to the side, but I'll just move this face over. And do E, and then Y. There we go. We're basically keeping thickness. I did kind of mess up here and just extruding up a little bit, but that's fine. I can grab this edge loop from the side view. Let me hide the original chair real quick by just going onto edge mode, hitting Alt, click to select that ring, and then I can even just kind of take it. What's going on here? Alt click and then G. There we go. Oh no, there's another circle there. But just go into side view and I can line that up and also shear it a little bit just to control this effect a bit more. I'm later going to subdivide this, so I'm not too concerned with the shape right now. I'll just add another cut here and smoothen that out. Oh, we can select the modifier, add in a mirror so we can start seeing it on the other side, and we'll just mirror to the cushion so it lands exactly on the other side. We only have to build out one. I'd like to unshear this edge, so I can do Alt click to get this face. And just shearing right. So here we want to do a 1 as well to return to normal. We can select that edge, continue moving it back in side view. All right. How do I want this to go down? I think I'm actually just gonna extrude. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Extrude. And then I'm locked into Z, but if I click Z, I can free it up and just kind of trace out here a certain shape. I'm also gonna do some shearing. Sort of do like it. Ooh, wrong handle. Right, there we go. I'm just gonna correct all these edge loops now. I sort of just wanted to sculpt the shape that was there. Let's see what we had. Here it is. Oh, I went way too far back. Select all those edges. There we go. Okay, now I want to adjust each one of these. Just kind of move this in and use the shear tool just to kind of have it fit that side. Follow proportions. Cool. And this edge loop, I actually want to add in one over here using, let's see, Control R. We get an edge loop right there, and I can place that where we start our curve. That way I can grab our last curve, Alt click, move it over, and shear. There we go. I'll modify this one a little bit more too. And maybe add another edge loop right here. All right. One last thing to have this join. Whoa, I did something strange here. I don't hate it, but it's kind of awkward. S, Z. Yeah, something happened with both of these. So Alt click here, Alt Shift click here to select both loops, and then I can scale them down together. And Alt click to just move this one closer, and then scale it up just slightly. And on the mirror right here, we want the merge to go higher so that it basically puts those two together and makes one shape. I think at one point I started using the wrong shearing handle. Okay, and we'll add a subdivision, and then things get to look a lot better. Let's hide the old ones. And in order to get rid of that little toothpick leg, we can do Control R over here, bring this close to all the way down. Or actually, I had found a better way. We can Alt click here, and we can set it as a crease. Edge crease. There we go. Okay. I'm wondering if for this one, I could just... I don't think so. I wanted to just use the modifiers to be able to make it rounder. But maybe what I'll do is just delete it. Get under it. I mean, here, this one, I could just bevel, right? Make this round. If there's any suggestions you'd like to add in chat, anytime. Control A, all transforms. Alright, the reason I did that was to try to have this modifier apply the bevels a little bit better. There we go. It just looks really, really small, and we only really need like 3 segments. Ah, but these are not bevels. They're actually modeled in for the creases. Oh no, the bevel was working. Amount. That's not changing. Or it caps out at a certain point. So I can't round it out any more than it is without going into edit mode and then doing alt click to select this whole edge and moving this edge away from the corner. Or let's see, and then we have to grab this one as well, move that back. And perhaps this one that is marked as a crease, I imagine. Select this edge. It does not have a crease, but it is marked sharp. So if I do clear sharp, no, it's a seam, clear seam. Nope, not getting any rounder. So I think this is one that maybe I'll continue to play with. I'm going to do save as, but it doesn't fit the collection I was doing right now. Chair, cylindrical. So let's actually show this chair with a desk that I have over here. We've got a table, dark resin, steel composite. That's the one. We'll open that. So this one was also, it was very sort of weird mid-century type. It was also generated with AI, and it just kind of had these different panels. And then, well, it was generated in AI, but then I had to obviously just kind of come in and do my own thinking. So the idea for this slot here, I'm thinking we could just modify this to pull this away. And it's like we could place a computer there. That could really work. So yeah, we could do like a workstation scene using these two furniture pieces. All right, so we'll grab this edge. There we are. I want to grab all the edges on this side, so I'll do alt click. Oh, there we go. Alt click right there. Looks like that only gave me that edge. So I got to do alt shift click and get the other edge. Now I have both sides. And I also need this cut right here. Okay, I'm gonna just pull that back. Yeah. All right, we'll save. This is not marked as an asset, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Mark asset. And rather than having to restart my other Blender, I'm just going to go into that render scene, and I'm going to do file, import, or no, not import, append. Go into tables and gold and marble glass tile. There we go. Collection, collection. Oh, wrong table. File, append. Dark resin and steel. There we go. Desk. Okay. So this one, I don't know if my whole scene was on the smaller side or if it's my furniture pieces that were the correct size. I imagine I did the furniture pieces correctly, but we can quickly find out by start bringing in some other models. So we'll hide our effect over here till the very end. Okay. And I added in the Blender Kit link to the stream because I'm going to be using Blender Kit heavily to kind of add in props here. So we said we were going to add a computer, so we can go ahead and add a computer. Actually, I think I have one. And for the style that this is, I want to use a MacBook. So my asset browser, I'll go through and I have a section for tech. I'll definitely be using Blender Kit for other things I don't necessarily have. As if I can save a download. Or is it under props? Props, tech. And we got to make sure we set our asset browser to the 3D library, or to the right user library. I have so much stuff missing now. All of them? Oh, I only see my chairs now. Jeez. Alright, we'll restart the file. When in doubt, just restart your file. Okay. Yep. All those materials I had here at the beginning of the stream and all my resources are just gone. I only have my chairs now. Well, that means we're searching for a computer. Alright, we're searching for everything. So we'll get a laptop. Cheers to Blender Kit for saving the day when your asset library just suddenly disappears in the middle of your stream. So, there we go. That computer seems like it might be too big. So that means my furniture is too big. I'm going to select my two pieces and scale both of those together. Let's find our collection here. Our desk. Select objects. Select it with the chair. We'll make them bigger. There we go. So that our laptop is the right size right on the desk. Cool. We want to rotate 180 degrees. And at this point, to make this interesting, we'll switch up the camera. Top view could be interesting. Yeah, I think I could lay over some type really, really well over a top view. Nice. And I could even, where's my laptop? MacBook. Select objects. I'm going to put all this under a new collection called props. So that everything is under this collection that I add in from here on. And I don't have to worry about it. I can just turn off all the props and leave the two design pieces if I need to. There we go. Props. And there's our MacBook Pro. Okay. What else could we add? We could add a coffee. There's definitely always coffee. Not a paper one. That's the biscuits. I don't like it in glass. I want a little ceramic one. Can I get away with that? Yes, this one has coffee beans on it, but it'll have to do. Notebook, of course. Yeah, with a fancy little pen. We can put that off to the right. We're usually using a mouse. I'm inclined to switch the laptop for an iMac. Yeah, let's do that. This is more like a desktop station. It's not really somewhere where you just prop up with a laptop. This is more like a home, remote work, freelancer, or a really, really flashy office desk from an eccentric designer. For an eccentric designer. Cool. I actually don't like the band on this side. I'm going to rotate my whole desk so that the band ends up on the other side. That metal band, 180. Bam. I sort of like the desk being at an angle. Like if I really lean into that for the image. Can I? Let's see. Yeah, I think I want the chair on our side though. And chair. And then everything else. Let's put the chair off center too, like it's pulled back. All these little things. Composition is key. And I still have to rotate the whole table. So that's it. Like the rendering is already pre-established by the template file. So I have somewhere to start from. I can make little decisions here and there later. But all my objects went to the wrong place. But the idea is you could just drop in models and have something really, really quick to visualize. And just be able to say, okay, well, I have it like this, even if I just did it black and white, and then I added big, bold letters over here for a project cover, and this already kind of sets a mood, do everything around the aesthetic that I establish in this one sort of like concept shot. Looking at more props, a lamp, a desk lamp. You gotta separate those words and spell them correctly. Jeez, there we go. Screen is so small. That fits the vibe. Come back to that. I don't want to just go off of my first option. It's not bad either. Very much from the time period. Or that's definitely for the time period. Okay, because of the MacBook, I'm just gonna go with the sleeker lamp. Because with a MacBook, putting something industrial on there would not quite fit. So this lamp is gonna be off to the right side. Gotta go back to my view. I'm gonna make it actually bigger than what it's intended to be. There we go. Well, I want this on this side, yeah. This is a darker side, and that's where I want to put my notebook. So the notebook was probably floating out there somewhere still after I moved everything. There it is. I can just grab that empty, whoops, not hide it with H, but move it with G. And this time, the desk is going to allow us to put the piece of paper. Let's see, how do we reconcile this? I would have, well, how do I have it right now? I have keyboard and mouse right next to each other, and then I have notepad off to the side. So we'll grab the computer, bring it forward. GX. Ooh, mouse comes along with it. So that's kind of locked in, but then I'll just grab my notepad and move that off to the right of the mouse. Cool. We'll have it face the chair. Does it make sense to rotate the chair? I think it does. I like that direction a little bit better. This whole time I've had the different sort of test things on here. I'm actually, now that I noticed them fully, I'm going to keep them. I'm going to move them onto the desk and make them way smaller. And I don't know, do something interesting with them. Off to the left, like a little something. We could do Shift A to add a base. We're gonna just go with a cube, scale that down, move it up. Whoops. Don't know what just happened. Just lost my render view. Wait, no, just kidding. Did it crash? Oh, it crashed. This is the file I had open in the background, so let's close that. Okay. Yeah, we came right back to it. Nope, no lamp. Let's see. If we go to File, Recover, Autosave. No, that's not what crashed. There we go. Oh yeah, there is lamp. There is no notebook though. The notebook's floating. There it is. Rotate that over. And then computer. Okay. So we said let's put these on the table and let's give them a base. Seems like some of the cameras are mapped to track these shapes, which is fine. Let's see, maybe instead of just modeling this, I'm just gonna search for a wood block to put these on. Or can I search for like a sand tray? Not that. Ooh, replace them with planets. That'd be interesting. Yeah, okay. Let's just make a cube. Scale that down. Move it onto the desk. We'll put this in rendered view, even though I crashed. Let's see if I can, I'll reduce the quality. And the number of samples, definitely. There we go. We should be good now. So we'll move this cube over. Rotate it. Put it under these and make it smaller. Select this face and we just move it along. So we want to move it along the axis of the shape so we can hit G, Y, but that's the universal Y. So we'll do Y again. So we move along the Y axis relative to the object itself. There we go. SX. Oh, I don't want to do it just to that. I want to do it to the whole object. There we go. All right. And SY. And then GY. Cool. And I lost all my wood materials, so Blender Kit, get me something that looks like wood. Is wood the right thing to use here? I want to go with actually like a black marble. Yeah. Or a white marble. Black marble, because the things are white. Cool. This looks so unnatural to me still. The lighting. And we need more of a mess, right? We need like sticky notes. Anything you can come up with there in the chat if you want to help me out with props that we could look for and add in here. Cash money. Definitely not one of these. Sticky notes, come on now. A watch, a black hole. Yeah, that'd be nice. More cash. I'll never have to make more cash in 3D. It's already made. All the cash you could want. So the next step after this, really just dialing in. Ooh, easy text geometry. I mean, I did say I was going to add in a title. I was going to say we could do some more prompting and then add in this text and do a render to basically kind of put the last little touches on this scene. But yeah, maybe we just skip straight to the text. Oh, a robotic arm? You know what? Yeah. This one holding a tire is pretty cool and on theme with other things I have going on, so why not? Shout out shout out to everybody that put up these models on BlenderKit. But Motorman H2ZD, really long name. Okay, so we have our text also. Ooh, that rotated the wrong way. RZ 90? Nope, negative 90. Okay. So I can't just type in it like I thought I would. It's not a text object. Let's put our robot arm in the right place. Oh, it's rigged and everything, but it didn't come with a tire. We'll just have it peep over just a little bit like that. If you know, you know, you know. If you know that's a robotic arm, then you know that's a robotic arm. And I'm gonna hide some of the text. Well, I gotta choose what it's gonna say. So we'll switch over to not shader editor, but geometry editor. And then there should be to export your text as a mesh. Click on the modifier and apply it, right? And where do I put what I want as text? Geometry node. Maybe in the modifier? Yes. So, unless that was the name. If I type it in here, yep, that was the name of it. Internal dependencies, nothing. Well, if I hit tab, I can't just start typing like I usually would with just text. And do we have any instructions here besides exporting? Alright, this is gonna get demoted to Photoshop. Animation driver rotation. First line. Oh, geez, you blind. It has each word separated. I thought it would just be like one field, but this is the thing. It's split up for every single line. So we'll get rid of line 1. That should be pretty immediate. We'll get rid of line 2. We'll just start from the bottom. And what do we call this project? We can just say what it is. We'll call it AI Century instead of mid-century. AI Century Furniture or Spaces. AI Century Spaces. Does that track? I don't think so. Mid-century, AI Century, get it? AI Century. You know what? Screw it. I think it might grow on me. So I'd like it to be aligned to the left. So what, do I have to type in spaces here? Is that going to be the most efficient way? Oops. Okay. And I want this to read well. So actually, in order to read this properly, and it's only going to make sense to see it on top camera, so I have to move it right in front of the top camera. This is kind of what that looks like in 3D. We have our whole scene down here, and we just move this text right up in front of the camera and position it as it should. I know I said I was going to hide it under the table and the desk. Yeah, I want to do that. I'm wondering if I should mask it later. Let's give it a shot. Okay, my concern here is it looks really dark because I'm depending on the lighting a bit too much. And it's clipping right there. Let's see, I gotta avoid the chair, or I gotta move the chair to fit the text fix better. Yeah, just move the camera. How about that? Move the camera so that I may move the chair. so that my title fits. Okay, so now I gotta rework my lighting so that these letters are working. So I think I might even just do away with the current light that I have. Okay, there's another one in there. I have like a tri-lighting setup, but I think what I'm gonna go for here is to rely on Blender Kit one more time to give me an HDRI. Oh, that's neat. Just the light from the computer too. That's pretty cool. What if I just blast that? One sec. I'd love to see what that looks like. So we go to our shader editor. Transparent, add, okay. Oh, I have to pick the display material. And then we look at our emission, and it's not, oh, it's over here. That's a weird way to go about it, but okay. Oh, whoa. Well, that is interesting. I kind of need to, I'm gonna go with it, but I will need to do more. So this desk lamp here, we're gonna put in, there's no bulb, and I'm just gonna add in a light. Point light will do. And we'll make this kind of a warm light. We'll have that blue light work with like warmer tones. Okay, we're getting like a little, it's bouncing all the light out of this cone, so we're actually getting the shape of the cone for this lamp light. I'm just gonna zoom in here, make sure this looks pretty good. A little bit too intense. All right. That was definitely way too intense. But before I tone it down, what I intended to do here, I might have to switch over to Material Preview to do this, is search in Blender Kit for an HDR. And it's kind of feeling like a night scene, so maybe I look for like a sunset. Let's try that. And we can just bring it to low because we're not going to really be using the sky in this scene. And with that loaded in, now we switch back to rendered view. And I do need to take a look around to see where the sunset is hitting. So the sunset is hitting dead on. That's not what I want. I'm going to rotate the sky. So I'm going to go to world right here in my shader editor. And there is a mapping node here already. So I just got to rotate my z-axis. And my sun will move. Here it goes. Goes off to the side now. So we have something to test here. Either way, I'm gonna go into this object and I am going to cut in some windows. All right, nice and easy. And before I eliminate these, just in case I want to cover them up or somehow, these are what's called, I forget what they're called. They're used in photography, but you use them to block out light. So separate by selection, it's a photography term. So we can have those kind of like shield any light that we don't want. Delete the only faces. And now we can hide this. Boom. So that's not actually going to show up in the scene. Just a way for me to control how the light hits in here. I can also fake this and rotate the sky at an unnatural angle. Just to get it, there we go, to come into the scene. It's really direct. I want a sunset, but I want it to be softer. So we'll search for sunset again. And let's see if we get something that has more diffused light. That's the one we went with. Clear sunset. Sunset with clouds. That's sort of what I'm looking for. Yes. Okay. It kept the rotation from before. We'll reset that. And go back to camera. Kind of see where the sun's at. Okay, so our light source is again like way out there. I think I want to bring it around the side. So we'll do a Z rotation. And we see the lights coming from the right side. So I think it might be fine. I'm looking for that spot where it kind of hits the left side of the letters. That looks really good. I'm pretty sure. Yep. And I can also, let's see, if we go back to our geometry node editor, we should have some materials here. Text top. That looks pretty reflective already. So besides making it reflective, I'm going to cheat a little bit and give it an emission. I'm going to have it actually give off light in the same color that it has up there. So I just hit the eyedropper and click there to match the emission color to the top color. And if I go to my shader editor, I have here that material, the text top. If I switch from world to object, and there's the emission that I edited right there. Emission strength 1, same thing as what we see on the right side, but I'm gonna add in a noise texture. So noise texture for emission, let's see, I'm gonna put it through a color ramp. And the two colors are gonna be black, meaning no light. And then here, the eyedropper will put the orange. And when I plug this into the emission instead of the color, I can now control how much light it gives by the color ramp, and we see that noise effect coming into play. So I can change where the lights and the darks are at with the noise. So if I increase the scale, I increase the density of it, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to really accentuate the fact that it's metal by giving it that sort of quality, and then not such a stark difference. So I can bring this in to make it brighter. And rather than black, we can use a dark orange. And we lowered the intensity for the emission, so it doesn't like totally take over the reflection effect that we also want in there. Cool. And now with the color ramp, I can choose if it's brighter or darker. So we can just make it brighter. Okay. I'm gonna try something out here just to finish off the lighting, and that is to select the display, lower the intensity of the emission on the display. There we go. So we still get light hitting the chair and bleeding throughout. And we're gonna increase the intensity. Well, I don't know if I'd like to increase the intensity of the sun. Let's try that first. It's just too soft. You know, I think I'm gonna just do the rest of my editing in Photoshop. And get rid of the robotic arm. It's a bit too much. No, I'm just gonna move it to fill up a bit of this empty space. And I think it does go with the AI century. Like if we're thinking of just incorporating more and more tech tools into our workflow. I would like to add it to be like gripping something. I'm just looking at this objectively. Alright, we're gonna bring back our other lights, the original ones, and I'm just gonna lower the intensity on all of them. And also select this table and turn off the reflection of that light on there. We can do that by going into not shading, although I do want caustics. See, shadow caustics. There we go. Got the beer glass. So we want to go into the object properties, visibility, ray visibility, and turn off, is it glossy or should be glossy. Not diffuse. Transmission? Nope. Let's see, we can also do this from the light side. So if we select a light, there we go. And for the light, we don't want it to affect glossy. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna do it from the light side. And we can lower the intensity of this light. So I really just want this light to fill in just a little bit to soften up some of the darker shadows. Okay, we go to our next light, which is our highlight. So this is an accent light. I'm going to put this over to this side and increase its intensity. Also move it up because it seems like it's hitting the ground very directly. Yeah, move that up. It's pointed at the spheres, which is fine. I'm going to make it larger. There we go. So it really hits the text there a bit more, softer, and give it a, I'm going to return it with the blue tint. Put it all the way to saturation. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that object tracking in Scott. So delete the tracker. It just went rogue. Just gotta point it back around. And there we go. We've got our highlight light hitting just the letters. So Blender does have light groups now. I have to look into this a bit more, but supposedly we can actually very much focus where these, what lights, what object, oh, right here, light group. So what objects do I want this light group to affect? So yeah, I guess it's as easy as that. I don't know if I just search for the geometry node or if I have to create a light group. Looks like I need to create one. But I'll look into that. But that would be a way to have it just affect these letters and not hit the ground. At least for now, with the ground, I can just turn off that reflection. Yeah, I don't want those crazy shadows. I'm just going to soften up this light. Increase the spread. There we go. Just an ambient blue coming from the side. And then we have a key light. So in our case, the key light, let's see, can I just hide it? Yeah, I'm just gonna do away with that one and use the laptop light as the key light. So there you go. Just got a banner render, kind of pulling these things together. And this is some collateral that I'm gonna be working on to add this into the website. I'll continue to develop on how to showcase these in different formats in different ways to create a different presentation, to kind of include these basically in their own catalog of AI generated furniture pieces. Cool. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you like this content, you want to see more AI generated designs and 3D tools using Blender, using different AI image generators and 3D editors, and consider subscribing. I'm live every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. So again, thanks for joining in, and stay tuned for more updates on this project.